This was in fact Sorella's fourth arrest. The officer, Mrs. Prue Van Waters, felt a combination of relief and vindictiveness when she finally towed away the misfit. Prue Van Waters didn't know if the work of the state was to protect female sexuality or to police it, but she did know that Sorella was a delinquent. Any girl who engaged in premarital intercourse was. Maybe the new economy was to blame. After all, it had created new and untested rules of female conduct. Girls were no longer bound to domesticity, but out in the workforce and in public. They were wage earners, not children. They were staying out late, smoking cigarettes and drinking hard liquor. Most importantly, girls were breaking a centuries-old tradition. Instead of being passed from their parents to their husbands, they were enjoying something America's founding fathers had never intended for women: freedom. Before the judge, Sorella appeared unrepentant. She didn't think she was headed for moral ruin, she argued, and if she was, moral ruin wasn't as bad as it was presumed to be. What did she think about her obscene language and body behavior? The judge demanded. Had she considered the consequences of her rebellion upon her poor, abandoned mother and impressionable siblings? The court awaited an answer. "I've never thought about it," Sorella admitted, arms akimbo. And then there was the matter of her health tests. The juvenile detention center served as both a temporary home and a place for medical diagnosis. A physician and psychologist examined each of the detainees to determine bodily damage. Female inmates, whether they had been apprehended for thievery or truancy, had to undergo compulsory pelvic exams, too. Lying on a table, her legs spread, skirts and underclothes bunched around her waist, Sorella demanded to know why. "I need to determine if you have any diseases," a male doctor informed her. "And there is the matter of your purity. Are you pure?" "What does that matter?" He probed her private parts with a cold metal instrument. "The hymen is destroyed," he stated blandly, as if he were reporting on the weather. "Have you been practicing self-abuse?" "Self-abuse?" "Have you engaged in sexual intercourse with a man or with yourself?" "What does that matter?" Sorella repeated. The doctor remained calm. Only his furrowed brow conveyed annoyance. He saw dozens of girls like Sorella every week. "Have you ever been pregnant?" "No." The doctor's furrows deepened. "You understand that abortions are illegal, don't you?" "Yes, doctor, but I think you've made a mistake." "Oh, no. There can be no mistake. I see the evidence plain as day." In fact, Sorella had had an abortion over a year ago. Worried that she'd wind up in a predicament like her mother's, she'd asked a local woman to perform the procedure. The woman was neither a doctor nor a midwife. She was simply known in the neighborhood as someone who could get girls out of trouble. The procedure had been bloody, more dangerous than Sorella realized. Sedated with a dark herbal brew, she remembered only the tools, long prongs and thick wire. She had lost consciousness midway through. Just now, Sorella closed her legs and sat up. With mounting exasperation, she challenged the doctor. "You speak with indignation, but you have no right. You will never be saddled with children." The physician carefully recorded this correspondence. Later, he added his notes to Sorella's other court documents. Various probation officers questioned the girl's friends, neighbors, and family members in order to assess the cause of her delinquency. In terse words, Catherine Flannery described her daughter's troublesome lifestyle as well as her own inability to control it. Why, one probation officer asked, hadn't she channeled the girl's misguided sexual energies into respectable domestic pursuits? "Will you look at the color of her hair?" Catherine demanded. Ultimately, The court determined that Cirella should be committed to a reformatory until the age of 18, good behavior notwithstanding.